Hello and welcome everyone. Michael here with Thirdstone Properties. In this video, I'm just kind of doing an update of the Tour Jacksonville video that I did a couple of years ago. Prices definitely changed, and I want to try to help people basically focus on the right areas, depending on what you're trying to buy, how much your budget is, that sort of thing. So I'll just jump right in here. If you're looking for something, under 125,000, which I have quite a few customers that are looking for that. Here's pretty much the areas that you're gonna be in. And all I did on this, I'm an MLS right here. I just did anything under 125. I wouldn't say any single family house under 125. So because you can find some condos and stuff like that for cheaper out here. But you can see where all our green dots are. You're pretty much going to be right here. So I just kind of did I just kind of highlighted areas on a map. So if you're looking for a single family house, if you're trying to get a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, which is pretty typical in these areas, that's kind of what you're looking for. Keep it under 125. If you find a 2-1 that's in good shape, that works too. Their rents, I feel like it's at a point now where the rental rates here, and they're pretty much, I feel like they're minimum, 1,100 in just about anything, besides maybe like a 1-bedroom condo or something like that, or like a studio or something. But if it's a single family house, like a 3-1 single family house, I mean, it's probably at least like 1,200, 1,300 just about anywhere. I just kind of, like I said, I just kind of highlighted these areas. So if you're keeping under 125, this is probably where you're going to be looking right here. If you're able to, you're better off keeping it in this spot here, this West Jacksonville, or down in this area too. Then this Robinson's Addition, Newtown. Even you can still find some stuff down here every now and then, like Lackawanna and Nixontown. Those are probably like your best areas to focus on. You can find some stuff here in Brentwood too. Pretty much any of these right here is fine. Here you're going to find a ton of stuff like in this Moncrief Park and this Midwest side part. As you can tell, like most of my green dots are all right here, right? If you're going over like 100 and you're trying to find like the best bang for your buck, like, hey, I need keep it under 125, but I want the best house I could possibly find for under 125. Those areas I just highlighted, you're probably going to be your better bets, and then moving on here, jump it up to 225. So once you hit 225, you see we get some more green dots open up. You get some of the west side here that opens up. You still got some stuff you can find in Arlington here, and a little bit here below San Marco, this little area here. And again, I kind of highlighted some spots. And this is more or less, if you're going to go, I think 125 might be a too low a number, but if you're going to be over like 150, so like I'm 150 to like 200, these are the areas like you want it to be. Up here, you got and up here too, like just because I don't have it highlighted doesn't mean it's not good. Like obviously anything in all these areas, like the whole east side under 200, you're good. But I'm just highlighting the areas that you're mostly going to find this stuff. And that's going to be right here, right around this Trout River area, a little bit above. Once you get up here, it's going to start getting priced out. You start getting priced out like all up here, like you get Ocean Way, everything up here. You're not going to really find anything under 200 unless it's like a full on rehab. But best spots I like up here under 200, and I feel like as a company we manage a lot of these houses, and so based on like our experience and how easy things are to rent and the desire in these neighborhoods for this price point, your points are going to be like Lake Forest, Riverview, Lloyd up here. Osceola Forest, your Sherwood Forest, Harbor View. All these are really solid options. And like I said, we manage quite a few here. If you can find a 3-2, awesome. Most likely you're going to be looking at 3-1s. Magnolia Gardens is a good spot. I think even this Royal Terrace is good. And then pretty much when you get down to, all this is fine. Your Lackawanna right here. You're probably not going to find anything in Brooklyn here. This area is just blowing up so much right now. But if you find something in Springfield, that's great. Then moving over here to the west side. So these are this is kind of like the west side part. And again, you can maybe find stuff throughout here for 200 too, but most likely it's going to be rehabs if you do. But in these areas, you can find that. And then on the east side here, there's not a lot, but there are still a few houses you can find in this area under 200. Most of the time, it's going to be a rehab, but every now and then you can find a pretty decent one that may just need like some updating and stuff. But overall, it's in pretty livable condition. That kind of house. Excuse me. And then up here too in Arlington, I'm still like pretty. I still feel pretty good with Arlington here. I feel like there's been a lot of really positive movement here, especially like this area here has just changed very dramatically. I might even go up a little bit, even if you're above 200 here, let's say like 200, 250 in these areas, you're pretty much fine with that. And this here too. Okay, so moving on to the next point here. I just kind of punched in 200 to 375 just so you can kind of see how those dots change. You open up the east side here a little bit compared to, when I got under 225, you don't really see a bunch of them. But you see them open up and, right where these same points, but here's kind of what I drew out here. I think I did this. Yeah, so like under 375 here. So if you're, going 225 might be too low, maybe like, 250, I would say. Like if you're spending over 250K, I wouldn't really go outside of these areas. This is kind of what you want to look at too. So zoning back in here to downtown. If you can find anything here in Riverside, Murray Hill, you're good. Like it's just they all work. You're gonna get most of the time you'll get the rent that you need. Obviously once you get closer to that 350 to 375 mark, the rents are only going to be able to keep up so much. So keep that in mind. San Marcos is awesome. If you can find anything like along this area here, this is probably one of my favorite spots to look. Around the San Jose, down to Mandarin Station, just all of this. This is all really good prime, like 375K houses, your 3-2 2-car garages that are gonna get very good rent. Most of the time, like 2,200 plus in rent, and not say 2,200 plus, like 2,200 being a minimum. If it's a house that's in good shape and the right size and everything. And if you're anywhere, St. John's, like any of these areas, you're good. They're all going to work at that price point. Then I'll pop over here, like Orange Park, down the Fleming Island, Oak Leaf Plantation is fantastic. You can do really well over here. You can still find some stuff every now and then under 300, but not much. And then up here, I marked off Yulee and this whole Fernandina Beach area. I think these areas are great and they're really growing fast. And I think they're going to continue to grow and continue to perform. And you should be able to get some really great appreciation out of a lot of these, like especially like these new builds and stuff that are going on. Same with down here. If you can, get some new builds still. Most of them are priced out now at this point. 2 years ago, we could really get some great deals. But that's starting to become harder for sure. But yep, there's my map. I'll take screenshots of these and I can have I can kind of have copies of these maps and send them to people. Just let me know. I'll send it out to you. Yeah, so that's I kind of went up to like 375 here. But, you can stretch that a little bit if need be, and you're still fine probably. And then I just kind of went a little higher. Like if you're spending 400K plus, like, like I would narrow down even more. Just kind of stay out of certain areas, because once you're spending that much money, you want it to really be in like a really prime area. So like I kept it along here, all the way down to Mandarin. Pretty much all of St. John's is fine, and of course anything at the beach, it's a no-brainer. Ocean Way is still good. Fernandina Beach is still good. Riverside, I think parts of Murray Hill is still great. Pretty much all this Riverside, Avondale, Fairfax, Ortega, Orange Park, Oakleaf. That's your spots. All of St. John's, you don't even have to think about it. If it makes sense, just buy it. And then I kind of drew out some, or I didn't draw out, but I just popped over with some condos and townhomes. So I just wanted to touch on this a little bit, because a lot of people don't really understand where you can get like pretty good values of this too. Most of your condos are going to be in this area here. This is called Southside. And you look up what's it called, the town center. So you look at town center, that's where you're going to have a lot of like your updated condos and apartment complexes, big malls, stuff like that. Obviously, anything in the beach, you're pretty good. Keep in mind, most of the stuff you're not going to be able to Airbnb or anything like that, so just keep that in mind. And this is stuff under 250. I capped it at 250. So you can see we still got a couple of green dots out by the beach. I used to actually live here at Greensway. It's a really awesome spot. HOA fees get a little high there. Makes it a little difficult to cash flow, but overall, if you're looking, if you're just looking for something easy that's going to stay rented, very low maintenance, but will continue to appreciate like crazy, these are good spots. Like, I had a chance to buy one of these condos a few years back for a lot less than what they're worth now, and I kind of regret not getting it. I wouldn't have cash flowed on it at all, but the appreciation that it gained has just been worth it alone. So just things to keep in mind. You got some new builds out here in Oakleaf that I like. These townhouses, 250 right here, boom. That's good. And you can also find some townhomes too that have no HOAs. If you're lucky enough to get one, there's a little spot over here. I can't remember exactly where it is. I bet I could find it. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So this spot right here, there's some townhomes over here that have no HOA. I've been able to get for a few customers. I think I've had about 5 customers buy stuff here. And I just got 2 of them for, one was like 115, one 105. So you get that, you're doing pretty good. Because when they're like nice and they're really well done, like these needed some work, but they didn't need, 40K worth of work or anything like that, but they still need to work. But when they're done up, they're valued at 160, so like, but every now and then, for whatever reason, I can manage to get somebody one for like 120, 125. So something kind of, keep an eye out on. There's like a couple other spots up here too that I know some townhomes that have no HOAs. Like I bet this is one right here. I just know like by looking at it, but 240. Yeah, so here's a great example. This one's 240. There's no HOA. Like, that's good. So 3.2, no HOA. I'll send that in my likes list. But yeah, that's it. Again, there are condos, there are townhomes that do work. They don't work for everybody, but some people they do. Just ask me about it. We can talk about it, no problem. If you were looking for multifamily, which I love multifamily, that's always my favorite kind of purchases. Love getting quads, love doing the 8 units, the 12 unit deals. I'm very good at them. I've done a lot of them in the past. I wish there was more available. There's not a lot on the market right now. It's been pretty slim for that. But if you can find a quad, like pretty much if you can find a quad in most parts of town under 500 right now, it's a buy. If you're up in this area for quad, I would keep it like 350 and under. But anywhere else, like there's some good quads over here around like San Jose. There's some good quads out here, like around Jacksonville Heights. There's even some down here, like in Orange Park, that are good. So again, if you can get them 500-600K, they perform well. In multifamily, there's not a ton available at any point, so it's not that hard to look for them. And keep in mind with a lot of those, I have access to financials and stuff really easily with a lot of this stuff. So let me know if you're ever wanting that. I can shoot over to you. All righty. But I think that pretty much covers it.